कोरोना के कहर के बीच सार्वजनिक स्थानों पर होली खेलने पर लगा प्रतिबंध। दिल्ली मुंबई के बाद अब हरियाणा भी लिस्ट में शामिल। पीएम हाउसिंग फंड में सीबीआई ने कहा, डीएचएफएल के निदेशकों ने फर्जी होम लोन खातों के जरिए किया हजारों करोड़ का घोटाला। महाराष्ट्र के गृहमंत्री अनिल देशमुख पर उकाही का आरोप लगाने वाले आईपीएस अधिकारी परमवीर सिंह की याचिका पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का सुनवाई से इनकार। अपनी मांग को लेकर बॉम्बे हाईकोर्ट जाएंगे परमवीर सिंह। महाराष्ट्र सरकार ने किया 86 अधिकारियों और कर्मचारियों का तबादला। 65 अधिकारी अकेले क्राइम ब्रांच के। गृहमंत्री अनिल देशमुख से मुलाकात के बाद मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे का फैसला। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी और राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद ने पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री और राष्ट्रपति को लिखी चिट्ठी, पाकिस्तान दिवस पर दी बधाई। पीएम मोदी ने कहा, पाकिस्तान के लोगों के साथ खुशगवार रिश्ते चाहता है भारत। कांग्रेस नेता राहुल गांधी के खिलाफ अवमानना कार्यवाही शुरू करने की अटॉर्नी जनरल के वेणुगोपाल ने नहीं दी इजाजत। एक इंटरव्यू में की गई राहुल की टिप्पणी पर बीजेपी नेता ने अटॉर्नी जनरल को लिखी थी चिट्ठी। हाल में जारी आईसीसी टी20 रैंकिंग में भारतीय कप्तान विराट कोहली एक पायदान के फायदे के साथ चौथे स्थान पर पहुंचे, जबकि उप कप्तान रोहित शर्मा 3 पायदान के फायदे के साथ पहुंचे 14वें स्थान पर। देश में लगे सबसे सख्त लॉकडाउन का रोजगार पर गहरा असर पड़ा है। सरकार के ही आंकड़े बताते हैं कि लॉकडाउन पीरियड में जनवरी मार्च तिमाही के मुकाबले शहरों में बेरोजगारी दर तेजी से बढ़ी। आंकड़ों के मुताबिक 2020 की जनवरी मार्च तिमाही में शहरी बेरोजगारी 9.1% थी। सांख्यिकी मंत्रालय के मुताबिक इस दौरान महिलाओं में बेरोजगारी दर 10.5%, जबकि पुरुषों में बेरोजगारी दर 8.7% थी। ये दर अप्रैल जून की तिमाही में बढ़कर 20.9% पर पहुंच गई। इनमें भी महिलाएं ज्यादा बेरोजगारी का शिकार हुईं। इस दौरान महिलाओं में बेरोजगारी दर बढ़कर 21.2% और पुरुषों में 20.8% पहुंच गई। पीरियोडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्वे की रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक 2020 के जनवरी मार्च महीने से अप्रैल जून 2020 के बीच बेरोजगारी दर में 11.8% का इजाफा हुआ। इसी दौरान देश में सबसे सख्त लॉकडाउन लगा दिया गया, जिससे देश की अर्थव्यवस्था पर खासा असर पड़ा। इस दौरान बड़ी संख्या में लोगों को टूरिज्म समेत कई सेवा क्षेत्रों में नौकरियों से हाथ धोना पड़ा। माना जाता है कि भारत में वो शख्स बेरोजगार की श्रेणी में आता है जो काम के लिए उपलब्ध होने के बावजूद उसके पास हफ्ते में 1 घंटे का भी काम ना हो। महाराष्ट्र में अप्रैल जून की तिमाही में शहरी बेरोजगारी सबसे ज्यादा थी। यहां तिमाही में बेरोजगारी दर 35.6% थी। इसके बाद झारखंड बेरोजगारी में सबसे आगे रहा, जहां बेरोजगारी दर 32%, और तीसरे नंबर पर मध्य प्रदेश रहा, जहां ये दर 28.9% थी। इस तिमाही में सभी राज्यों में बेरोजगारी दर डबल डिजिट में ही रही। पीएलएफएस को राष्ट्रीय सांख्यिकी आयोग ने साल 2017 में शुरू किया था, जो देश में रोजगार और बेरोजगारी से जुड़े आंकड़े जारी करता है। पीएलएफएस हर 3 महीने में ये डेटा जारी करता है। सर्वे के मुताबिक भारत में सभी उम्र के लोगों के बीच बेरोजगारी दर जनवरी मार्च की तिमाही में 9.1% थी। आंकड़े देखें तो महिलाएं ज्यादा बेरोजगारी का शिकार हुईं। इस दौरान महिलाओं में बेरोजगारी दर 10.5% रही, जबकि पुरुषों में यही दर 8.5% रही। लॉकडाउन के पहले 3 महीने अप्रैल जून की अवधि में महिलाओं के बीच बेरोजगारी दर 21.2% हो गई, जबकि पुरुषों के बीच ये 20.8% थी। इससे थोड़ा पीछे जाएं तो अक्टूबर दिसंबर 2019 की तिमाही में सभी उम्र के लोगों में शहरी बेरोजगारी दर 7.9% थी। इसी साल जुलाई सितंबर की तिमाही में बेरोजगारी दर 8.4% और अप्रैल जून की तिमाही में ये दर 8.9% थी। सर्वे बताता है कि अप्रैल जून 2020 की तिमाही में श्रम बल में भागीदारी की दर 35.9% हो गई, जबकि जनवरी मार्च की तिमाही में ये दर 37.5% थी। पुरुषों में ये दर जनवरी मार्च तिमाही में 56.7% और अप्रैल जून की तिमाही में 56.3% थी। महिलाओं में जून 2020 में श्रम बल में भागीदारी की दर 15.5% दर्ज की गई, जबकि 2019 के जनवरी मार्च महीने में ये दर 17.3% और अप्रैल जून 2019 में 15% थी। ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट, गो न्यूज़।
on the one hand, we have a government that is saying that that they want to empower the girl child. On the other hand, if you look at the kind of atrocities that are being committed against women and how little justice you get for crimes committed against women, there's a dichotomy between what you say and what you actually do. We have to, हम बोलते कुछ है और करते कुछ है, ये नहीं चल सकता है. We will, when we talk about women and we talk about making them the central focus of our development, then you have to make sure that when crimes against women are committed, that justice is given to them and speedy justice is given. Otherwise, clear as crystal, you can see कि बोल कुछ रहे और कर कुछ रहे, and that is a huge impediment for women. India is a country that lives in several centuries simultaneously. Our people live back to back from the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st century. And our people encapsulate all the contradictions that come from being a multi-religious, multi-caste, multi-class, multilingual society. And so it is with the position of women. So on the one hand, we have women in very important positions. On the other hand, the sun is yet to shine on a large percentage, particularly of rural women. So, of course, all of us are agreed that literacy is a very important factor of empowerment. But what does literacy mean? हमारे यहाँ तो साक्षरता का मतलब है आप अपना नाम लिखें. So I would like to give an example of Banda district, UP, in which there was an adult literacy program. And the women said, why should I learn to sign my name? Is it going to stop my husband from beating me up? Is it going to get my cow to give more milk? I am simply not interested. And so when they were asked what it is that they considered the biggest problem, and they talked about the fact that the hand pumps don't work. So there was this group, Mahila Samakya, who said, well, why can't you repair the hand pumps yourself? And they said, but this is a man's job. And then they were told, कि तुम इतना काम करते हो, you carry the firewood, you do all the work on your own, why should you not be able to do it? And so one woman came forward and she said, all right, I'll do it. 1 year later, these women were not only repairing their own hand pumps, they were also going into other villages and installing new hand pumps there. So what is this literacy is something that we need to talk about. What kind of education? Education that merely reinforces gender divides and eats into patriarchal values. It's much better that we don't have that kind of thing. So we have to be very careful of the kind of education which reinforces gender divides, in which this is what men are supposed to do and that is what women are supposed to do. Soon we put up an ATM in the village, and that was like such a huge thing for the women because they didn't have to start going to the bank, and that they were operating their own accounts, and suddenly they realized that this money is theirs and they can decide what to do with it. So there were so many women amongst them who decided that a widowed sister had to be looked after. The money had to be spent on things that she found important. What it did is also change the status quo within the family, because from being regarded as liabilities, they were suddenly being looked upon as assets. So this is the real problem of rural women in India. We are talking about loans. We are talking about them starting businesses. It's a very far cry, because first let women exercise choice in how they use their own finances, and from there we can move forward and say, all right, are these women interested firstly in having their own enterprise. We have to listen to them. We cannot decide for them. Okay, suddenly now we are going to say, okay, acha, now there is a self-help group और इसमें आप जो है तो कमान. That's not what they want. We have to listen to them and from there move forward. Important television series called मैं कुछ भी कर सकती हूँ, which has been, it was funded by Population Foundation of India, and Firoz Abbas Khan has been the director, and I cannot tell you how crucial it has been in changing women's perception of what they can do in the villages. We need, I would agree with you, we need particularly Doordarshan to make this available. But going from there, I think that to separate the two and say that this is not an economic choice, it's a social choice, the two are interrelated. I think everyone in the panelists has definitely recognized that it is empowerment of the woman towards decision making, without which financial literacy will get her nowhere. It is when the first step of empowerment has been taken, which is basically to say that there will be, that she can participate in decision making. And this decision making is, let me tell you, not straight away just financial literacy, but decision making about her own body, about what kind of health benefits that she can get, about what nutritional benefits that she can get. You know, all of these are wheel within wheels, because in the rural areas, to see what a woman, you know, it was so interesting that once I was trying family planning with these women, and I said, okay, but this is just a pill. Why can't you take it every day? And she looked at me and she said, you think in my heart I have a single place where I can hide a pill? You know, it came as such a big shock to me. Look at the reality of what we are talking. You know, mobility for women, particularly in rural areas, is such a big problem. And within that, safety, the fact that there is no street lighting. When do these women go out? All these are also problems, but we have to look at the positive side. We have to know that there are all these problems, but then we have to overcome them and take them into consideration, which I don't think policy actually does. Policy doesn't look at the nitty-gritty. Policy talks about a big thing and then it doesn't stand true to what you experience as a woman in rural India. The fact is, look at what's happening with NGOs today. Look at how the government is coming down on NGOs and axing them. And instead of seeing them as really partners, it's actually treating them like villains. In that atmosphere, how will NGOs get the confidence to say, all right, we should come together?